Okay, we are in part two of my 50 things I've learned now that I've turned 50 on the 17th of Feb. I was born in 1976. That puts me as Gen X. I had an amazing childhood, but one thing I did not know anything about growing up was money. So this section is all about money, money, money. All right. Let me tell you, I had a dad. Okay, so growing up Gen X, often what might have happened please let me know in the comments if this was you. Your dad worked and your mom stayed home. Okay, and she probably, that was her job, was like taking care of the kids, and she did not have any money of her own, and she relied on your dad to give her money. That was my situation, and that was the situation of many of my friends. Now, the other thing about my dad is he never shared any information with us about money. His whole mindset about money was you need to save it for an RSP, which is retirement. Now, when you're 10 years old, like, what do you care about retirement? Even today, when you're 20, when I was 20 in my 20s, I still didn't care about retirement. So he did not share. And this is one thing I've learned since wealthy people, like rich families, talk about money. Poor people don't talk about money, or they have very negative views on money. And when you put negative energy on money, money stays away from you. So you always have to be speaking very positively about money and about people with money. And even if you feel that you know someone and you hate them because of all this money and they're like this kind of person, okay, don't put your energy on them. Find other people who are willing to talk to you about money, because my first tip, you guys, is there is simply no excuse today to not know how to manage your money. There is just simply no excuse. You are living in a time with thousands of money experts at your fingertips that we did not have when in the 80s. And you can train your algorithm to give you all of the tips about money. Start following people who are money experts, who are deemed to be money experts by the community, by the world. Like, they are doing podcasts, they are doing YouTube videos, they are writing books. I don't know if I did a thing about books. I did. Second one, the books. Okay. So number one, there's just no excuse. Go follow people, go like watch videos. What do poor people do that rich people don't do? What do rich people do that poor people don't do? Right? Go figure it out. And then find out how many of those habits do you have? What's keeping you poor? Because I can tell you that the two biggest habits that were keeping me poor, number one was eating out. Even like I would be like, oh no, let's go out for lunch, let's buy some breakfast, let's buy coffee, let's buy this, let's buy this. That was a huge thing. And learn how to cook. It's really not that hard. And especially not with like AI. It's just so easy to get a recipe and figure out how to cook. There's so many videos out there to help you. Um, and the second thing that I was doing is I was not investing my money in things that I could invest in. Not when I would think about investing, which was like Wall Street. That's the only thing I knew about investing. And I was like, I can't invest in Wall Street because I don't have enough money to, like, you need to have like a ton of money to even put your investments in there. No, there's other ways to invest. And I remember I moved jobs. I had a retirement fund that my job had been paying into. And then I found out that when I left for 8 years, I was able to take that money out of the investment portfolio. And it was a lot of money. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm like, I'm rich. I've got all this money. I've got all this money. Like an idiot. I should have completely just moved it over to another investment portfolio, because 5 years later, I got taxed on that money. Like you wouldn't believe, unexpectedly taxed, because I was just an idiot about money. So there's just no excuse. So number two are the books. Okay. So my favorite books. Feel free to like add your own in the comments. Please add your own in the comments, because the more we can talk about money and talk about how to make it, the better. Number one, of course, Rich Dad Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. Like that is just the easiest flippin' book to read about money. It's aimed at like a 9-year-old. Like you, if you're 9, you could understand this book. Number two, The Richest Man in Babylon, which is written a long time ago, but even my 13-year-old student read it and completely understood it. And now we talk about investments. Like his dad, like they're wealthy. His dad is helping him invest. Of course, that's what rich people do. So, number three, The Psychology of Money. That's a newer book that's out now. Really good to get your head around how money messes with like our psyche. Number four, oh, Jen Sincero, You're a Badass at Making Money. Her story's really good. Like she was really poor living in her garage making music, and then things just sort of started changing. And lastly, and obviously there's like a ton more, but the Secrets of the Millionaire Mind by T. Harv Eker. So, funny enough, instead of putting any money towards a party for myself for my 50th, I bought a VIP ticket to T. Harv Eker's 3-day Millionaire Mind Intensive conference that is happening in Cape Town, because I live in Cape Town, right before my birthday, like the 13th, 14th, and 15th of February. So as I'm recording this, my birthday is in a week, but the conference is happening just before that on the 13th, 14th, and 15th. Now, because that's going to help me grow. And I would rather do that than spend my money on a party. And I'm not dissing parties. Like, go ahead and spend all your money on a party. Like, go for it. Like, have that experience. Like, love it, embrace it. But don't be upset because it's costing you a lot of money. If it's costing you a lot of money, don't have it. Do something else. So anyways, yeah, those are my main things with my main books. But follow like Kobe Sanchez, she's also a really good one to follow about money. Just like there's a lot of people out there who really want you to get your head in the game with your money. Um, Next, learn how gratitude is energetically linked to abundance. So you can be in a state of lack or you can be in a state of abundance. And the way that you're in a state of lack is focusing, because remember, where your attention goes, your energy flows. So if you're focusing all of your attention on what you don't have, you get more of what you don't have. So if you're constantly focused on debt, you're probably going to get more debt. If you constantly focus on what you're grateful for, what's in your life that's like amazing, you are going to get more of that. And remember, like people think that, oh, but if I just talk about it, it's just going to come into my life. No, like you have to get the signs too. Like what will happen is like somebody will come into your life that wants to offer you a new opportunity, a new job, wants to offer you something better than what you're dealing with before. And then you're like, no, no, you got to stop and you got to really think, okay, you can do your research, whatever, but you want more abundance in your life. Well, this is how you're going to get more abundance, right? So by focusing on the energetic side, that money is energy, and the more you embrace it and love it and be super grateful for it, the more it wants to flow into your life. The more you help other people with it, you give it away to people that need it, the more that will come into your life, you'll see. Okay. So rather than, and this is not something I'm going to go super, super into because it's something you need to do a little bit of research on. It takes time to really get your mind in that idea. But even Bob Proctor and Sandy Gallagher, I remember they did like one of Bob's books. They did it as a um, sort of like a conference, but it was the science of getting rich. You know, even Tony Robbins, like he's written books about money. You know, start figuring it out. And they will all talk about how money is linked to it's abundance versus lack. You've got to be into the mindset of abundance. Number four, talk about it. Learn from other people. Wealthy people talk about money, right? So if you want to be in a room with wealthy people, either put yourself in that room, like go have coffee at like the wealthiest cafe in your town or the wealthiest hotel and just be in the energy of these people of money, right? And be like, come to me, come to me. This is me. I'm sitting in this cafe because I belong here. Whenever you get around people with money, don't be scared to talk to them. They're just regular people. Go and ask them for their advice. What's the best advice you can give me about making money? Like, or how investing, what's your best tips for me? I'm just getting started in the money game. What advice can you give me? They will love to give you advice. If they don't, whatever, go to the next person, right? Don't worry about that person. Maybe they're having a bad day. Talk to people. Wealthy people talk about money. Poor people talk about problems. Okay. Next. I've said this already, but money is energy. You need to keep it flowing. You can't hoard it, right? Like if you're like my Nona, who had basically thousands of dollars just like stuffed in random places in the apartment, um, because she's hoarding, right? Go invest the money. You want your money working for you. So it creates more energy. So more energy flows back into your life. You don't want to just like keep it stagnant in a place hoarding it. So just learn about how to work with your money, how to invest it, how to move forward with it. Be not problem focused. No, don't be problem focused. Be solution focused. What's a solution? Okay. Like I know the people coming to my millionaire mindset intensive are really excited. Next, identify the habits that are keeping you poor. Where is your money going, right? The top five tend to be eating out, which was mine, definitely. Smoking, which was mine for about 10 years. Drugs, also being from Canada, also was mine for a while. Alcohol definitely was mine. And buying things you don't need, 100% mine, except that my mom was like the number one bargain shopper ever. So if there's anyone whose dopamine hit is a bargain, it is this girl right here. But it still didn't stop me from buying things that I don't need. I would just get them on sale. So you see, I ticked all five boxes of why I was poor for so many years, but not anymore. Now I'm all about, money comes to me easily, freely, and from everywhere all the time. Like that's my new mantra. It's been my mantra for several years now. Okay, next. You cannot be the version of you. This is again aligning with your highest self, which is from my first set of 10 tips. You cannot be the highest version of you who has all the money with the same habits as the version of you who doesn't have the money. Like habits are going to have to change, honey. I'm sorry. Like habits are changing. Like they have to because the version of you who just wants to sit and play video games and just expect people to come and pay you money, it just doesn't work that way. You Yes, I mean, do something you love. You want to get paid to play video games? Figure it out. Figure out how you can do that. Like that can happen. So, start recording yourself. Like, I don't know, I'm not a video game player, but like figure it out. There are ways to make money based on what you love. That can happen. But just having money kind of show up on your door for no reason, the only way that can happen is if you are in a constant state of like joy and excitement and gratitude and bliss and like all the positive emotions. In that case, and if you're just saying to yourself like, I'm living in the best life. You have to be on a seriously high energetic vibration. And most people who are sitting around playing video games all day are not in that vibration because sitting down all day can be depressive. Like it doesn't, makes you feel like you're not doing anything with your life. So you're going to have to start shifting some habits. You want a book? Atomic Habits by James Clear. Really get clear, not funny, really get clear on how you want to change. What habits do you want to change in order to align with the version of you that has all the money, right? What job do you want to do that you're going to love so that you love your life and you love your job and you're helping people? Like, think about it. What can you do to actually push yourself towards making the money that you want to make? Can you make digital products? Can you go online and start, a YouTube channel about something specific? Or if you're in the States, you can get paid to be on TikTok. Like, anyway. Okay. So yeah, you're going to have to change some habits. Sorry to tell you. Next. Learn what it means to pay yourself first. So this was the biggest lesson that I learned in The Richest Man in Babylon. that paying yourself first means that when you get your paycheck, you don't pay everybody else right away. Yes, I know you have to pay like all your debts and things, but it doesn't matter. And this, like the younger you can hear this, like if you can hear this when you're really young, that is the key. Like my friend has two kids, right? One who just wants to spend his money straight away, and the other one who is like, how can I invest it? And he's only like 10, but he's like, how can I invest it? How can I invest it? My nephew, who always is just telling my aunt, you know, Mom, I hope you know that I'm going to be a super billionaire, right? Every dollar he gets, he's just like, how can I invest it? So, but my brother and my sister-in-law also have money, so they talk to the kids about money too. Now, the idea of paying yourself first is even whatever you have to spare. So if it's $10 or 10, well, in our case, my case, like 100 rand or something, put it in a savings account, right? Put it in the savings account first so that it's as though you didn't have that money. And that is paying yourself first. If you can afford to put more into the savings account, or if you can go and put it into an investment account, whatever you're doing, just put it in there so that it's as though you didn't have that money to work with anyway. Then pay everybody else. So you've got to budget what you're dealing with, right? If you're not making ends meet, you got to really look within yourself and be like, okay, what are the habits holding me back? What can I do to what can I learn? What can I be better at? What kind of free courses out there for me are out there? And like start journaling on it. Anybody can make it happen. Anybody. It's just that you have to stop living within um, the mindset that you have that says you can't do this. You can't be wealthy. You absolutely can, without a doubt. Okay. Um, Next, number nine, yeah, stop talking negatively about wealthy people and start learning from them. Stop when you see someone with a Jag or a Lambo or something like that, like stop being like, oh, no, there's my car. Look at that, guys, we're driving my car. I wonder what he's doing for a living. I would love to speak to him or her, or, wonder what they're doing. Like, I would love to get tips. And then, imagine yourself in that car driving beside them, talking to them, right? What do you want out of your, like, to help you do something you love to make this money, to get this money coming into your life? Don't, like I said before, if you have the experience of being with rich people, talk to them. Have a question, like I said, like, what's your advice, right? Don't put negative energy on them. Just don't, because that's what you want to be. You want to be in the place of success and prosperity and wealth. And to do that, you have to surround yourself with wealthy people, right? You're an average, Jim Rohn said it. I'm sure it was Jim Rohn. You're an average of the 5 people you hang out with. So if you want to keep being where you're at, really look at the people you're hanging out with. And I'm not saying you're going to ditch your friends tomorrow, but normally there are some influences in your life that you may have to reevaluate. So think about it. Last one. This one is from Warren Buffett, who, if you don't know, is like the billionaire investor, started investing money when he was like 11 and wishes he had done it sooner. And he just says, harness the power of compound interest. Again, this is if you're young, right? Start putting your money away. Don't touch it. The idea is that 30 years from then, you're just going to live off the interest. Because compound interest really, I'm not going to explain compound interest to you. I'm not a banker, but or a financial advisor, but go do yourself a favor and look at some graphs about compound interest and what it actually means for you making your money. Because the more that you can realize how that happens, the more likely you are to start saving even just a little bit and a little bit and a little bit and a little bit every week, right? Again, rich dad, poor dad as well. That's also a good one to look at, saving and being like, you don't need to keep up with the Joneses. You don't need to spend on like crap you do not need, right? The goal is making your money grow for you so that when you're older, you've got like all this money because it just compound interested all over the place. But yeah, so understanding that the key to wealth is having your money work harder for you than you work for your money. prioritize investing over consumption, and be patient enough to let compounding multiply your efforts over the long term. So, if I've missed something here, if there's any tips, if there's anything you want to say, any books, please put it in the comments so that we can help each other get better at working with our money and, you know, become that wealthy, most prosperous version of us. All right, guys, I'm sending you all the love, all the money making love, and I will see you in the next video. Have a good one. Bye.